Welcome children. Today I am dealing with some problems which may be useful for students those who are appearing for NEET JEE exam. First one, the gates that give output y equals 0. This y equals 0 is the output given by the gates for the two inputs a equals 1 and b equals 1. A equals 1 and b equals 1 are the two inputs given to the logic gate, and we are getting the output as y equal to 0. So in which all conditions we are getting output y equal to 0, then we have to find it. So now anyway, first of all I am giving the answer, then I will describe this one. So here answer we are getting as NOR and NAND gates. So I will give the explanation now. So you should know what are the logic gates. So basic logic gates are So what are the three basic logic gates are AND, OR and NOT. So these are the three basic logic gates, and NAND and NOR gates are considered as universal gates. Because all these basic logic gates can be created using which one? This NAND and NOR. That is why it is called as which one? Universal gates. Okay. So now I have to go for this answer. So for that, first of all, we should know what are the truth table and Boolean expression as well as symbol for all these basic logic gates. Okay. First of all, so first I am going for AND gate. So AND gate is one of the basic logic gates. Okay. So it is having, first of all I am putting inputs. So inputs and output. So there are two inputs and one output. Okay. So first input I am taking as A. Second input I am taking as B. And this Y is the output. So it is having two inputs and one output. So first one I am taking inputs as 0, 0. 0, 0 means low or we can say 0. So it is having only two inputs. So either it may be 0 or 1 like that. 0 indicates low value and 1 indicates high. Okay. 0, 0 means output is also 0. Okay. Then next one is 1, 0, output is 0. 0, 1, output is 0. And for 1, 1, output is 1. So this is the truth table for which one? AND gate. Now I am writing the Boolean expression. Boolean expression for which one? AND gate. So it is given by, so we have two inputs. So this is the AND gate representation. This is two input A and B are two inputs, and we have the output Y. So this Y is the output, and this expression can be written as which one? A. Boolean expression can be written as A dot B. So this is the Boolean expression. So this is symbol. This is symbol is like this only. This is symbol for AND gate, and this is actually the Boolean expression Y equals A dot B. So Y equals A dot B is the Boolean expression for which one? AND gate, and this is actually the symbol. Okay. Now next we can go for which one? OR gate. In OR gate, we have the inputs as well as output. So we have two inputs here, A and B, and one output Y. So first input is 0, 0, output is also 0, and 0, 1, output is 1, 1, 0, output is 1, 1, 1 also output is 1. So if there is any 1 in the input means we will be getting the output. Okay. So only when both inputs are 0, output is 0 here. But in the case of AND gate, so whenever only both inputs are 1, then only we are getting the output. Okay. But here, if either any input is 1, we will be getting the output. Okay. And now Boolean expression and this symbol. So Boolean expression for this OR gate is given by Y equals A plus B. The plus means OR. This plus indicates OR. Then comes the symbol. Symbol is like this. Two inputs are there. And this is the output. So A and B are the two inputs and Y is the output, and this Y equals A or B. A plus indicates OR. And this is the symbol for which one? OR gate. So this is the second basic logic gate. Now the third one, another one basic logic gate. NOT gate. NOT gate is having only one input and one output. So like this. Suppose input is A. A is the input, means Y equals A complement, that is the output. Y equals A complement. That means suppose input is 0 means output will be 1. Suppose input is 1 means output will be 0. Okay. So this is about which one? NOT gate. So truth table means only one input and one output. A is the input and Y is the output. A 0 means output is 1. A 1 means output is 0. Okay, so this is the symbol, and Y equals A complement is the Boolean expression for which one? NOT gate. So these are the three basic logic gates. Now comes which one? Two universal gates are there. So what are the two universal gates? NAND and NOR. NAND gate. So NAND means AND plus NOT. AND plus NOT will give which one? NAND gate. So that means we have the AND gate like this. First of all, I am drawing this symbol. So this is the AND gate. AND gate. This AND with which one? NOT. So that means I can put a note here. Okay. This is called as which one? NAND gate. So here we have two inputs A, B, and Y equals, what is the Boolean expression for AND? A dot B. And this complement will be the answer for which one? NAND. So that means A dot B complement. So this is the Boolean expression for which one? NAND gate. Now we can go for the truth table. Truth table. So we have two inputs A, B, and output is Y. Okay. So first one I will be drawing there. So Y equals A dot B, the whole complement is output. So truth table I am drawing here. So two inputs are there, A, B, and output is Y. So input first I am taking 0, 0, then 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So first of all you have to study the truth table for AND gate. So if you are studying AND gate, that is enough for us. So because 0, 0 in the case of AND gate, what is the output? 0. So take the complement of that answer. What is the complement of 0? 1. That means here the answer will be 1. Okay. Now again 0, 1 in the case of AND gate, answer is 0. That means here it may be 1. Here 1, 0 in the case of AND gate, 0. Complement is 1. 1, 1 in the case of AND gate, output is 1. That means complement you have to take here 0. So we will be getting the output like this. So here whenever inputs are 1, so our question, first question is like this only. So whenever both the inputs are 1, the output will be 0. The one is which gate? NAND gate. So one answer is NAND gate. Clear? When both the inputs are 1, output is 0 here. The case of which one? NAND gate. Similarly, I am taking another one gate. Next universal gate. So first universal gate is NAND gate. Next comes which one? NOR gate. NOR gate is another one universal gate. And here symbol, first of all you draw the symbol for which one? OR gate. This OR plus NOT. That means I can put a note here. OR plus NOT gives which one? NOR gate. So we have two inputs here, A, B are the two inputs, and we will be getting the output Y equals. So we have for OR gate, what is the symbol? A plus B. So NOR means take the complement. That means A plus B the whole complement. So this is the Boolean expression for which one? NOR gate. Now we have the truth table. So truth table. So we have two inputs A, B, and output is Y. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. These are the four combinations in all the truth table. Okay. So in the case of OR gate, 0, 0 will give 0. Complement of that will give 1. So take the complement of which one? OR gate. Now 0, 1, in the case of OR gate, answer is 1. So here complement of 1 is 0. Here also 1, 0. In the case of OR gate, what is the answer? 1. Take the complement of 1, that is 0. Then 1, 1. In the case of OR gate, answer is 1. Complement of 1 is 0. Okay. Now here also, when both the inputs A and B are 1, what is the answer? 0. So we have the another one gate. Which one? Which gate? A NOR gate. So this NOR gate and NAND gate will give output Y equal to 0 for which inputs A equal to 1 and B equals 1. So the answer is this one. Okay. Now we have one more gate is there, XOR gate, that also you have to study. XOR gate. That is not so important, but anyway you should know what is XOR gate. So first of all I am drawing the symbol for XOR gate. Symbol. Actually first you draw the OR gate like this. Then before that one more curve like this. Okay. So this is one input A. So another one input B. This is the output Y. Okay. And this Boolean expression is given by Y equals A exclusive OR B. XOR gate symbol. A exclusive OR which one? B. Y equals A exclusive OR B. Or we can write like this also. Y equals A B complement plus A complement B. When you are doing this one, you will be getting the answers. Okay, so put each input in this Boolean expression and you can get the outputs. Okay, so this is actually the Boolean expression. So Y equals A exclusive OR B. Now we can write the truth table for XOR. Truth table. So we have two inputs A, B and output of Y. So in the case of exclusive OR gate, so we have input 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So only in the case of one input 1, that means here one input is 0, other input is 1. So here one input is 1 and other input is 0. So in these two cases only we will be getting the output. That means we will be getting 1 here. Okay. But whenever the inputs are both 0, output is 0. And whenever both the inputs are 1, at that time also output is 0. Only when one input is 1 and other input is 0, we will be getting the output as 1. Okay. So only when one input is 1 and other input is 0, we will be getting the output for which one? This exclusive OR gate. So this is the truth table for which one? Exclusive OR or XOR gate. XOR gate or exclusive OR gate. Okay. Now I told you from NAND gate and from NOR gate we can derive which all things? Basic logic gates like AND, OR and NOT. Okay. So first of all, from NAND gate, how will you derive the three basic logic gates? Okay. So first of all, I have to derive which one? AND gate. I have to derive AND gate from which one? From NAND. From NAND gate. So just a diagram I am drawing here. So we can use only NAND gate. So this is one NAND gate. We have two inputs A and B and this output is taken. So first of all A and B are the inputs and we are taking the output from this one and this output is taken as the input for another one NAND gate. Then the output will be which one only? AND gate. So whatever we are getting is Y equal to A dot B, that means this is AND gate. That means suppose here the output we are getting as 1 means, so here both the inputs will be which one? 1. Suppose here we are getting output 0 means both the inputs will be which one only? 0. Okay. So like this using two NAND gates we can derive which one? AND gate. Okay. Similarly, next one. OR gate. How will you derive OR gate from which one? From NAND. So here we need 3 NAND gates. So first NAND gate and second NAND gate, and here one input, the same input. That means suppose A equal to 1 means both the inputs are 1 only. Okay. Similarly here also both the inputs are same, B. Okay. Suppose here 0 we are taking, means both the inputs for this NAND gate will be 0. Okay, like this. So now the output of these 2 NAND gates is connected to another one. Which one? NAND gate. So this outputs of these 2 NAND gates is connected to which one? Is given to the input of another one NAND gate. Then the output, whatever we are getting the output, that is which one? A or B. So here we are using how many NAND gates? 3 NAND gates to get which one? To get a OR gate. Okay. Now one more thing. Last one. So we have to get which one? NOT gate. NOT gate from which one? NAND. That is simple. We are taking only one NAND gate here. So this is one NAND gate. Same input. Suppose A equal to 1, we are taking one input, and B also will be 1. Same input we are giving here, and we will be getting the output. So NAND gate. So this is Y equals A complement. Suppose this A is the input, and this NAND gate is having input as, suppose A equal to 1 we are giving, means both the inputs will be 1. Okay. Then we will be getting which one? Output as A complement. So this is the representation of which one? NOT gate with respect to which one? NAND gate. So using NAND gate we are deriving all the 3 basic logic gates like AND gate, OR gate and NOT gate. Similarly, I told you we can derive AND gate, OR gate and NOT gate from which gate also? NOR gate. So next one, NOR gate. Basic logic gates using NOR gate. First one we are deriving OR gate. We are deriving OR gate from which one? NOR gate. So there we need only 2 NOR gates to derive an OR gate. So like the same thing. NOR gate. So we have 2 inputs, A and another one input B. Okay, this is one NOR gate, and this output is given to another one NOR gate. Another one NOR gate. Okay. The output of this NOR gate is given to the input of the second NOR gate. So here suppose output is 1 means both the inputs will be 1 for this NOR gate. Then the output will be which one? OR gate. So Y equals A plus B. So using 2 NOR gates we can derive which one? One OR gate. Okay. Similarly, next one, AND gate. AND gate from which one? NOR. AND gate from NOR gate. So here we are using 3 NOR gates, same like this one. So first NOR gate, and here second NOR gate, and here the input is same only. A is the input. So A equals 1 means both the inputs are 1 only. Similarly here input I am taking is B. Same input. Two inputs are same. Then we will be getting an output here. And this outputs of these two NOR gates are connected to another one NOR gate. Another one NOR gate. Then what is the final answer we will be getting? So we will be getting the AND gate. A dot P. Okay. So using 3 NOR gates we can derive which one? We can derive the AND gate. Now last one, NOT gate from which one? NOR gate. From NOR gate we have to derive which one? NOT gate. So here we need only one NOR gate like this. We need only one NOR gate here. NOR gate, and the input will be same input. Suppose here A is the input and this input is same for which one? This NOR gate, and you will be getting the output Y as A complement. Suppose input is 1 means output will be surely which one? 0. Input is 0 means output will be 1. So these are the derivations of basic logic gates from which one? Is universal gates. Now this answer for this one is, what is the answer? NOR and NAND gate will be giving the output as 0 when both the inputs are 1. And this NAND and NOR is considered as the universal gates, and basic logic gates are AND, OR and NOT. Second problem, among the following photosensitive substances, the one which emit electrons when it is illuminated by visible light. So actually the answer is sodium. So whenever this electromagnetic waves, electromagnetic rays falls on a material, photosensitive material, these electrons will be emitted. So in the case of sodium or in the case of any other alkali metals such as lithium, cesium and rubidium. So in the case of alkali metals, so even they are sensitive to which one? Visible light. So even when visible light falls on these materials, they may be emitting electrons. So they are more sensitive to which one? This electromagnetic radiations. So this photoelectric effect is the emission of electrons from photosensitive material when electromagnetic waves falls on these materials. In the case of photoelectric effect, we are considering light as packets of energy. So when we are describing this photoelectric effect, we consider light as which one? Packets of energy called photons. And whenever electromagnetic waves falls on this photosensitive materials, electrons will be emitted only after it attains a threshold frequency. So only after attaining a minimum frequency called threshold frequency. So only after attaining a frequency called threshold frequency, these photosensitive materials will emit electrons. Yes, after attaining threshold frequency, these photosensitive materials will be emitting electrons, and that phenomena is called as photoelectric effect, and these emitted electrons are called as which one? Photoelectrons. The electrons emitted by the photosensitive materials when electromagnetic radiations falls on these materials is called as which one? Photoelectrons. And here light is considered as which one? Packets of energy called photons. And here I told you the sodium is an alkali metal. So like which one? Lithium, cesium and rubidium. They are sensitive even to which one? Visible light. So even when visible light falls on these materials, they may be emitting electrons. Okay, so this answer is which one? Sodium. Third question. If an electromagnetic wave of frequency 5 megahertz, so frequency is given here as 5 megahertz, travels from, so it is traveling from vacuum into another one medium having a dielectric medium of electrical permittivity epsilon r equals 4 and given here mu r equals 1. So mu r is the relative permeability. So mu r is given by relative permeability. So mu r means relative permeability and this epsilon r is the relative permittivity. Okay. So given here the light is traveling from, electromagnetic wave is traveling from vacuum into another one dielectric medium. Okay. So whenever light is traveling from one medium to another medium, it may undergo which one? Refraction. And during this refraction, there is no change in frequency of light wave. So this frequency will not change here. So here in the options, So second option is given here as wavelength and frequency both remains unchanged. But wavelength will change here. Only the frequency remains unchanged. And what is the third option? Wavelength and frequency both double. That is also wrong answer. So what is the correct option here? Wavelength is half and frequency remains same. So I told you in the case of refraction, there is no change in which one frequency. Only wavelength becomes half. So how this wavelength is becoming half, I will tell you. So we have the formula for speed of light. Speed of light in vacuum, symbol is C. C equals 1 by root of mu 0 epsilon 0. So here epsilon 0 is the permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space. And mu 0 is the permeability of free space. Permeability of free space or vacuum. Okay, so this is the formula in the case of vacuum. Suppose if you are writing the speed of light in any medium, how will you write this formula? So speed of light in any media, V is given by 1 by root of mu into epsilon. This mu means permeability of the medium and this epsilon is the permittivity of the medium. Epsilon is the permittivity of the medium and mu is the permeability of the medium. But we have the formula epsilon equals epsilon 0 into epsilon r. That means epsilon means permittivity of the medium equals permittivity in free space into relative permittivity. Okay. So instead of epsilon, what we can write now? Epsilon 0 into epsilon r. Similarly, permeability mu can be written as mu 0 into mu r. The mu 0 means it is the permeability in free space and here it is the relative permeability. Epsilon r is relative permittivity. This one is relative permeability and this mu is the permeability of the medium. So here I am writing equals 1 by root of, instead of mu I am writing as mu 0 into mu r. Instead of epsilon I am writing here as epsilon 0 into epsilon r. Okay. But in the problem it is given as 1 by root of, this mu r is given as 1 in the question itself. Mu r equals 1. Okay. So this mu r becomes 1. Remaining I am writing mu 0 here. Mu 0 into epsilon 0 into epsilon r, it is given in the problem as how much? Relative permittivity is given as 4. So I am writing here as 4. Okay. That is equivalent to 1 by root 4. I am writing as what is root 4? 2. 1 by 2. Remaining we have root of mu 0 epsilon 0. That is equivalent to 1 by 2 into what is 1 by root of mu 0 epsilon 0? C. That is wavelength becomes half now. So wavelength, not wavelength, the velocity becomes half now. Velocity equal to half into speed of light in air or vacuum. So this speed or velocity becomes half now. Then what about wavelength? This velocity is directly proportional to wavelength. That means whenever velocity becomes half, what about this wavelength? Wavelength also becomes half. That means wavelength will be reduced by half. Wavelength reduces by half. So wavelength reduces by half. And what about frequency? I told you frequency remains constant. Frequency remains constant. Okay. So frequency remains constant. And what about the wavelength? The wavelength reduces by half since speed is reducing by half. Speed or velocity is reducing by half means wavelength also will be reducing by half because both are directly proportional. Okay. Fourth problem. The relation between the charge flow delta Q through the circuit of resistance R. Okay, this R is the internal resistance of the circuit, and change in the magnetic flux delta phi B. Phi B means it is the magnetic flux is given by which relation? Okay. So whenever there is a change in the magnetic flux, a current will be induced in the circuit. That is called as electromagnetic induction. So whenever there is a change in the magnetic flux linked with a circuit and EMF is induced in that circuit, that is called as which one? Electromagnetic induction. And here also, whenever there is a change in magnetic flux, an EMF will be induced there. And this induced EMF is given by epsilon. I am taking induced EMF as epsilon. Epsilon equal to delta phi by delta t. Here phi means phi b, magnetic flux only. So this induced EMF is given by delta phi b by delta t. And suppose R is the resistance of the circuit. If R is the resistance of the circuit, here it is given small r, so I am taking small r here. So if small r is the resistance of the circuit, then how will you write current through the circuit? I equals this EMF induced divided by R. EMF induced divided by R. That means we can write here as what is EMF here? Delta phi b by delta t into R. So we have induced EMF E equals delta phi b by delta t. Change in magnetic flux. Okay, delta phi b by delta t. And this current is given by I equals, induced current is given by epsilon by R. That means delta phi b by delta t into R. And we need to find which one? Charge flow, delta Q. So charge flow delta Q. Charge Q equals I into T. That means current I into delta T. Clear? That is equivalent to what is current here? Delta phi b divided by delta T into R. The small r, not capital R here. Small r, since here I am putting small r. So epsilon by R. Here also small r. Okay. So delta phi b by delta T into R into delta T. Okay. This is delta T cancel. Remaining we have delta phi b by R. So this is the charge flow. So charge for delta Q is given by delta phi b by R. That means which option? First option. So here we are inducing which one? Electromagnetic induction. So whenever there is a change in the magnetic flux linked with a circuit, a current will be induced in the circuit, and this induced EMF is given by delta phi b by delta t, change in magnetic flux. Okay, and this current is given by epsilon means EMF divided by resistance, and substituting this one, you will be getting the value as delta phi b by R. Fifth question, choose the wrong statement. Already it is given 4 statements. So you have to choose the wrong one from this one. First one, the inductive reactance limits the current in a purely inductive circuit. So purely inductive circuit means a circuit which consists of only inductor. So it consists of only inductor and the AC voltage. A circuit which consists of only inductor, and this inductance is given by the letter L. And this inductor is connected to the AC voltage, that is called as which one? Purely inductive circuit. So this inductive reactance, this reactance means resistance. The resistance offered by the inductor in an AC circuit is called as inductive reactance. So we know that whenever there is a resistance, what will happen? It limits the current in the circuit. So in the case of purely inductive circuit also, there may be some resistance, and that resistance is called as which one? Inductive reactance. The resistance offered by the inductor in the circuit. So this first statement is true only. Okay, that means the inductive reactance, that means resistance. The inductive reactance limits the current in a purely inductive circuit. The resistance offered by an inductor in an AC circuit is called as inductive reactance, that will limit the current in a purely inductive circuit. So this first statement is which one? True only. Okay. Then we can go for the second step. We have to check which one is the wrong statement. So first one is true. Then second one they are asking, the average power supplied to an inductor over one complete cycle is 0. This power is given by IRMS, ERMS, cos phi. Cos phi is power factor. Cos phi is power factor. You will be studying when you are studying in the alternating current. Already you studied, I think. So here cos phi is given by R by Z. So here R is the resistance and Z is the impedance. Impedance is also a resistance. Okay. Then in the case of purely inductive circuit, in purely inductive circuit, in purely inductive circuit, R is 0, resistance is 0. That means what about cos phi? Cos phi becomes 0. So whenever cos phi becomes 0, what about power? Power also becomes 0. That means the average power supplied to an inductor over one complete cycle is 0. So this statement is also true. So second statement is also true. Then third one, the inductive reactance, the symbol is given by XL. Inductive reactance symbol is XL, that is given by 2 pi F, that is L into omega into L. Okay, omega into L. That means omega we can write as 2 pi F, 2 pi into frequency into L. So here they are asking the inductive reactance is directly proportional to frequency of the circuit. That means inductive reactance is XL. So XL is now proportional to which factor? F. So this statement is also true. The inductive reactance is directly proportional to frequency of the circuit. That is also true now. Then the last option, in the case of purely inductive circuit, always the current is lagging behind voltage. So when you are drawing the graph like this, so this is the current in a purely inductive circuit and this is the voltage in purely inductive circuit. So always this current is lagging behind voltage by how much? Pi by 2 or 90 degree. But here it is given the current is leading the voltage by pi by 2. So this is the wrong statement. Since here the current is lagging behind voltage by how much degree? 90 degree in the case of purely inductive circuit. Okay. Remaining in the next video.